LinkedIn, 70% of US high net worth individuals use social media. They're on social media. I think that's a common misconception that they're not. They are, very much so. Okay, from the affluent to uber affluent, they're on there. 60% are over 65 and 64% are retired or not employed. So they have time, right? What better thing to do than be on social media? They access via their desktop. 2 in 5 use their phone. All right, and among those, 67% access LinkedIn weekly. So they're using social media. They're using LinkedIn. All right. LinkedIn.
How many? Yeah, like this is so powerful, Chris. Sorry to interject here, but for how many of you are surprised to see how many high net worth folks are on not only social media but LinkedIn? You guys surprised with that? Like that was shocking to us, and we study this every day, and we're running marketing. We run over like 200 marketing tests a day to high net worth and affluent prospects. That was surprising to us. I mean, I think the misconception a lot of advisors have is, hey, high net worth folks, I got to find them at the country club. It's only referrals. I got to have my circle of influence. It's only from attorneys. That whole stuff is great. But why would you limit yourself to a non-scalable referral model when you can control the dial? We call it a profit faucet, right? You want more prospects, turn it up. You want less, turn it down. With a circle of influence, it's a little harder, right? What do you call it? Your favorite attorney or CPA every week. Hey, you got anybody for me? You got anybody for me? That's why circle of influence is great, but it's not scalable. So we're talking about scale. If you're in growth mode, this is where you want to be.
Absolutely. And I'm just looking at comments here. So Stacy had put a comment. I need employers with 10 plus healthy employees. So this is, again, and speaking of this is why Sales Navigator is so great, because you can actually search that information. These people are on LinkedIn. Sales Navigator gives you access to all these additional filters for searching to find these people, right? They're not going to say, hey, I'm a high net worth individual, please market to me. But we know what that pattern looks like. We can start to filter people based on these things that LinkedIn allows us to do through Sales Navigator. So they're easier to find than you would think also on LinkedIn with Sales Navigator. A couple more stats that came out that were pretty interesting. So the content shared, so the trusted networks, all right, we see Facebook down at the end there, all right. We know why that place there could be some stuff on there, right? But 51% of people, the number one most trusted social media platform is LinkedIn, okay, which is another huge benefit. When these high net worth individuals are going to do their research on social media, that's why they're going to LinkedIn. They trust it. It's a professional network. Professionals are on there sharing great content, important content, right? I mean, Brian, we see that all the time. That's where these people are, and they're hungry for information.
Yeah, they're looking at it like it makes total sense because it's so career focused. People are assuming that all of it on there is good, healthy information that's going to really elevate them. So yeah, it makes total sense.
Well, and it makes even more sense here. So their desire for financial information. So they're all right. We have grandparents, we have older people in our family. We know how much they consume, right? News and information and stocks and all that stuff. You see this all the time. But when they're just consuming it, they're going to take action. Almost 30%, 28% are taking future action on the content that they are consuming inside of LinkedIn. They're conducting that research, they're asking for help, and they're purchasing investment products. And this is why we're trying to build each week that we've been talking with you guys. Last week, we talked about niche and USP. If you know who you're talking to, you can speak directly to them. And guess what? When they ask a financial professional for additional info, if you're doing your job right, that will be you. It should be you. All right. And so there's this sense of authority that comes with our positions. And as we determine the message to the right niche that gets through the noise, and then we show our authority and our expertise, this is where opportunities start rolling. And then you can become, oh man, I'm sorry for who made the comment, but had 2 referrals come in off people they didn't even know just based off their USP and niche, right? That's what we start to see. So really good stuff. All right, so Brianna, I duplicated that slide there. Oh, there we go. All right, so consumer behavior. What do we see from consumers on top of all this?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is that when you guys are trying to get in front of these high net worth individuals, the reality is that a lot of other people probably are also trying to get in front of them. So how are you getting in front of them in a way that really stands out? And a couple of the things that we've looked at is that people only spend about 2.6 seconds on a landing page, whether that be your Facebook page, your LinkedIn page, your website, before they've already formed an opinion about you. So that's why it's super important in a digital space to make sure that you're standing out. The biggest thing too is that people nowadays really, really value transparency, especially when over 50% of them are getting information from LinkedIn, because they think it's valuable. So they want to make sure that you're honest and true about what you're saying. You know, people look for that kind of stuff. So 66% of consumers are looking for transparency when considering working with people or engaging with their content. And then 86% of those consumers also believe that authenticity. So we preach all the time about being a genuine person, you know, really kind of like figuring out what your story is and applying that to your career and brand and things like that. And then from there, they're more likely to support your brand and want to work with you as well. So high net worth individuals are not the black sheep of that. They also are on the same pattern. So you're going to want to do that when getting in front of them.
Yeah, and so there's a couple of questions coming. I think authenticity, we see it's a big buzzword, right? That we hear a lot, and it's something that you can try to be too authentic, right? We can try to live by that and become off as unauthentic, being real authentic, right? And so it's a little bit of a catch-22. But I was talking to an advisor this week about it, and we're talking, and I'm hearing him talk, all right, and I think he's on this call too, so I'll appreciate this. I'm hearing him talk, and then he's telling me what he wants to say in his like USP and in LinkedIn. I'm like, the way you talk isn't what you're saying here. You're trying to be too nice, man. Just be. He was very blunt and very clear about what he believed, and I'm like, that's you. Be you. To be that person, that will come through. Why are you trying to sugarcoat it here? That's not your style. So I guarantee you, when you're sitting with clients, that's how you're talking. He's like, yeah, absolutely. That's what you need to do, and that's what we're talking about there. Just be yourself. It'll come through. And that's the trust factor. When someone talks to you, if you're not the same person as it seems on paper when they're talking to you, they're going to lose trust no matter what. There's a red flag that's going to go up. All right. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, the old expression from Oscar Wilde, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. And I think that's one of the biggest downfalls we see, especially in our virtual advisor appointment engine program, where advisors are doing more video-based marketing, which is just crushing it right now. They're so nervous to talk about what they know that I'm like, I need a script. I need I need a teleprompter. No, you don't. You just need to show up, pretend it's just a friend you're talking to. In fact, Aritza Lauris, who's a Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter, has worked with Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, so many other amazing talents. She coaches people on the X Factor who are amazing singers, but just don't know how to perform. She coaches you on our program to show up amazing on camera. She's wicked awesome. If you want to work with her, let us know and meetwithadvisorist.com, book an appointment, and we could see if you're a good fit there. But that's just, to me, that's just, so true. Just be authentic and be yourself. And let's be honest, Chris and Brianna, myself included, it's taken us some time to find our voice, right? Like, we know the struggle. We weren't born to be like, hey, we got this on Zoom. It took us some time. It takes time to find your voice, but you got to start today.
I think Brianna would definitely agree with that, right?
I smiled right away because that was totally me getting on camera. I would like get hives thinking about it. And now I jump into all my group coaching classes in front of 35 people sometimes and like love it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Absolutely. If you have a good case study, if you've got a really unique value or strategy that you use, you don't want to give away the farm in that. You just want to give enough to make it intriguing, to have another conversation or to propel that journey for that prospect. But absolutely, any PDFs or anything like that, landing pages you can set up are very valuable in talking with that. It's a great leave behind. Some of you door-to-door people would know leave behind. Just something that you can leave behind when you're messaging on LinkedIn, someone not interested, but you haven't really got them to commit. You say, hey, well, perfect. Let me just send you this. I think you'll enjoy it. And you never know what will come from that.